My name is Betty Adera. I'm the founder of Betty Adera Foundation, a non-profit charitable organization registered in Kenya in the year 2016. At Betty Adera Foundation, we believe in meaningful engagement of all our stakeholders, mainly women, girls, boys, youth. And what we do there is we do all in our power to secure the futures of the young people and to ensure that everybody lives a dignified life, meeting their social and economic life goals. Over the years, we have focused on works around prevention, mitigation, and response to all forms of gender-based violence, targeting the most lowly of lowliest within the communities, mainly in Nairobi, informal urban settlements, and also in other parts of the country. To date, we have over 1,000 people who can stand up and give testimony of how their lives turned around because they were touched by Betty Adera Foundation. And I always say that whatever good you do, it follows you. It follows you up to your 10th generation. And somebody somewhere sees, and most importantly, God in heaven sees. Now, let me take a seat and tell you all about this amazing journey. I am so honored to be here today on the Everyday Woman Show for a variety of reasons. One, Betty Adera is your everyday woman. She's your everyday leader. She's your everyday mentor. She's open, she is accessible, and setting herself up for mentorship for whoever out there needs her mentorship. Secondly, I am so honored to be here because this is a show that enables women like me to showcase their work and to let other Kenyans and the world know the good work that we do, and to figure out ways in which we can together uplift the statuses of other women, of other girls, of other young people, so that together we all aspire for dignified lives moving forward and also for access to opportunity. I consider myself an inspiring woman leader in Kenya today. Every field I go to, every door that I walk through, I come out of there feeling that I have left something for the people. I'm also a confident woman, I am smart, and I am a go-getter. But what's most important is that I am so accessible, and I am ready and willing to hold the hand of that young woman, that young girl, that young boy and young man out there, so that together we move forward. So Betty Adera is a village girl. I grew up in a village called Wothogik Village in Migori County. Wothogik is a Luo word that means end of the road, mwisho wa safari. So picture a young girl growing up in a village called mwisho wa safari. It's been a journey. I am the sixth born out of a family of 8 siblings. Both my parents are now rested, but they were teachers. And you can imagine growing up when your mom is the teacher in school, the school that you go to. And your father is also a teacher in another institution, close by. So my grounding and foundational years were years where I learned discipline that was instilled in all of us, but I also learned hard work. Trying to circumvent life in a large family is also not easy. And my parents instilled in all of us the value of giving. While we were living modestly, it's not like we had the lavish things, of life, but that little that we had, it was instilled in us that you have to learn to share. You have to learn to give out to others. My own father taught me that you might think you're the worst case scenario in life, but just know that there's someone who wished they were you. All right? So there's always someone you can be in a position to help, no matter your own situation. I went to Migori Primary School, and from there I passed my exams very well, and I was admitted to the Kenya High School. So I'm an alumni of Kenya High School here in Nairobi. And in that context also, I met many girls from all over, the country, the girls from high-to-do families, but also girls from families like mine or even worse. But we gelled and we learned and we transitioned from there. So my background is in social sciences. I am currently pursuing my doctoral studies. God willing, I should graduate this year in global public health. And I chose that path because I am passionate around community work. I'm passionate around reaching people where they are and sharing knowledge and educating them and working with them, showing them how to do things, understanding how they're doing it, appreciating how they're doing it, but then use that space to instill new knowledge, to instill better ways of doing things so that at the end of the day, everybody is, successful. I am a survivor myself of gender-based violence, and through that, I got the inspiration to register and set up the Betty Adera Foundation as a way of giving back, as a way of listening from survivor perspective, as a way of opening doors for people to heal, for people to access other services, but more importantly, to engage communities, to engage men, women, young people, everybody in conversations around how to prevent all forms of gender-based violence in the first place. So to date, through the foundation, we have reached people who nobody wanted to touch. We have worked with, sex workers who are in that space not because, they wish, but because life has just pushed them, to that space. And we work with them to figure out alternative ways of income generation, but more importantly, ways to secure their securities so that they are not violated in any way. We work a lot with persons living with disabilities because, again, that is a silent community that no one is really advocating for, with the force that it deserves. And within the context of gender-based violence, you find that girls, women who are living with disabilities are often the first ones, to be violated because maybe they can't talk, they can't move, they can't report, they can't communicate, depending on whatever their disabilities are. But even more importantly, the space of young girls. I am a believer that a girl who leads will be the woman president anywhere someday. And the way we are crafted socio-culturally and socio-politically, you find that if these leadership skills are not instilled in girls when they are young, there's some skills that might just be tough for you to start acquiring when you're 56 years old. But if we start nurturing you, from the time when you're young, we instill that skill in you, that capability in you, so that you can make use of your mouth. You have a mouth to speak up on issues that are going well, but to call out issues that need to be called out. If it was all up to me, I would make a law that says the least level of education for women and girls should be Form 4, should be secondary, should be KCSE. Because if you have that certificate, even if you got a D or an E, whatever, but you have it, it is an empowering tool that will open doors, especially for women and for girls. Apart from that, we also reach out to the boys. I am a mother of two young men, two gracious, young men. And issues of youth, issues of young men are issues that I live every single day because I have them, in my house. So the boy child is also not left out. I cannot bring the girl child up at the expense, of the, so we are trying to bring both. And in any case, when we do that, then you find that we begin to slowly turn around the social norms, the potential perpetrators, of violence against women and girls, to then become protectors of women and girls. So through Betty Adera Foundation, we have a program that is called Talanta Tani. We nurture local talent, we grow them, we link them to opportunity, and just pray that once they have doors opened for them, they too will come back and pick, another young man, another young woman, and support going forward. I am passionate about mentorship of young people today for all manner of reasons. And I do that because I need to give back and because I would want to see a better future for my own grandchildren, all right? I am where I am because I am a product of a protective environment, of a caring family, of a bunch of people who were around me when I was growing up, who grounded me on foundation, who grounded me, on values, and who to this day, old as I am, are still holding my hand, mentoring me in all manner of direction. Even at the foundation, I too have mentors myself. In my career, I have mentors. In my quest for leadership, I have mentors myself. And every day I walk out of this house, like literally walking by the market, and I come across young men, gracious young men, young women, full of energy, full of drive, but then they're stuck. They're stuck because no one is out there holding their hand, showing them the direction that they ought to think about, telling them some of these values and skills and pieces of information that you will never read, in any book. And when I see that, when I begin to talk to them and things turn around for the better, for their own lives, that drives me. So I wake up every morning and I tell my God that today, help me to be a positive influence in some young man, young woman out there, even if it is one person. One person a day is just good enough. 2 or 3 or 4 a day is actually great. And why I do this is because I have observed that when lives begin to turn around for the better, for these young people, they just naturally gravitate towards also doing the same for their peers and or driving their peers to me. So my network has actually grown. And as I'm sitting here, I'm looking at over a network of over 3,000 young women mainly, and men, not only in Kenya, but across Africa. And I'm in that spot where I'm beginning to tell myself, okay, so what sort of strategies then can I put in place to move this passion and to move this huge constituency of young people, to another level, so that the whole skill, cascades down. I only need to touch a few, build them like thoroughly, and then the few, will begin to have 10, 20 each, and the 10, 20 each will have 10, 20 each, and before you know it, it's a whole movement. And I'm thinking that with the current challenges of the world today, that is the direction we ought to go. Mentorship is critical, and more so with the kinds of challenges that everybody is facing in their lives right now, in this day, in this generation, no matter your age. I want to believe even if you're a president of any country, you still need to tap into the wisdom of other presidents or other, renowned leaders who have gone ahead of you. And I cannot say enough. I myself am a product of people who believed in me. And by the way, they were women. Everywhere I have worked, my supervisor has been a woman who has built me, who has challenged me to get better, who have thrown me under the bus, not to hurt me, but to make me, toughen up. And if I don't do that, I feel one day I will face my maker, and he will ask me the question of what did you do with your life? You were done for. What did you do yourself, to others of a different generation? Mentorship, allow me to say this, is not an event. Mentorship is not a one-off. Mentorship is not even necessarily structured. Mentorship is just a call. Hey, how are you doing today? On that your journey, how far have you gone? And the minute you open up that conversation, questions is going to come on the other side, and you keep touching base on what is the progress from the last time we left each other. Mentorship is about finding time, like people like me, out of my super busy schedule, find time, even if it's for one person a day. Do that. Give them your time and let them ask you all manner of questions. Let you into their issues, into their spaces, into their lives. And people need to be clear on what kind of mentorship they're looking for. It can be mentorship due to a career. It can be mentorship for studies. It can be mentorship for just life issues, because you can find like a young person who is just okay in her education, she's doing fine. But in relationships, there are issues. So they may want to need, mentorship along those lines so that they can be able to be clear, in their own minds, what directions, they want to take, and also building their capacity to say no when they need to say no, and mean actually no when they say no. People might also need mentorship on family matters. So mentorship is a whole world. But looking at mentorship for me, what I mainly focus on is mentorship for leadership. I believe everybody is wired with some leadership skill and leadership opportunity in them. Even a mother in her own home, that is leadership. The minute you're making decisions at whatever level on behalf of others, right there is leadership. Now, leadership in what? Leadership in politics, leadership in STEM, leadership in what, all right? But no matter the what, there are some standard leadership principles that apply no matter the field. And that is sort of like where I come in. If you watch my YouTube page, I have a program there that I call On Becoming a Woman Leader. I target specifically young women who aspire for leadership positions and or who are already in leadership positions in all manner of fields. And they're just short clips, short tips on some of the things they need to be aware about so that they can navigate their leadership space, so that they can excel, they can grow, they can thrive, and they can move upwards the ladder no matter what their leadership space really is. So I am passionate about doing this because I feel that at my age, I'm already in the rest of my life. That phase of, for the rest of your life, I'm already there. And I feel that there are things that it's only God who put in my hands. And now it's time to release them and give it to other people also. And hope that they will do even better, that I did with my time for mentorship. Doing good is priceless. Making of your time to give to other people is priceless. But here's the thing. You do that, it gives you a good night's sleep. You do that, you're building your own blocks for goodness to follow you and follow your children and follow your grandchildren and follow everyone in your line. And when you do good, somebody somewhere will see. Somebody somewhere will see. But above all, God in heaven also sees. All the works that I have volunteered to do within my foundation, all of the lives that we have touched, the lives that have transformed as a result of engagement with us, have opened doors to me, doors that my own degrees would never have opened. I have set foot in Hollywood, in California, to receive global, awards in recognition of the works that I have done within our foundation. And it is not one, it is not two, they are numerous. Up to just recently, I was named among the top 100 women in Africa, African women, who are positively impacting lives of people in whatever their spaces are. And that is huge. Those are things I do not take, for granted. And I use that as testimony, to other people who are wondering what to do with their time, and say that, please, you have even 5 minutes of your time in a day. Find some young person somewhere, your neighbor's child, your nephew, your niece, whoever is there, and just take them on board as your own. Journey with them and guide them. If there was anything I could do differently as I conclude, it is this. I wish I started earlier. I wish I started when I was 17, when I was 10, when I was 12, when I was 20, and not wait until, the recent, 10, 20 years, because reaching out to other people has got no age limit. You can do that at 90 years old, although you'll have a little time to do it. But you can also do that when you're 15, when you're 20. So my message to young people out there, whether you're a young woman, young man, whatever it is, start. There is somebody you are better than. There is somebody out there who wishes they were you. Start in your small, small ways, and God in heaven will see.